Kickback with Kelly and Barbara. We are back once again with your Friday edition of the show.
That's right. We hope you've been having a great week so far coming out of that long weekend. It's always nice, right?
It is always nice, and I hope you enjoyed our Joseph Schooling special as well. But of course, with the weekend looming, you may be wondering what you want to do with your children. Now, this is something that is a perennial problem with as someone with a young child. It's like, what do you do? Where do you go? Where can you go? And where's safe at the moment? I'm pretty sure a lot of you who are parents at home are wondering exactly the same thing, because we do worry that our children, if we go out to big play places, that they're at risk. So we thought, let's go and debunk some of these myths. Yes. So we went and reached out to Kistopia to try and see if we could get someone on board to come and talk to us a little bit more, because we loved Kistopia for a very long time before this whole COVID malarkey happened. But obviously the question, is it safe, still remains. So we thought we'd get them on board. So let's invite Heidi Tian, Kistopia founder and general manager, to come and join us.
Hello.
Hi, Heidi. Come join us. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Big fans of Kiztopia.
Big fans of Kistopia. But I think one of the things that I wanted to do today was sort of just debunk some of these myths that we may or may not have about play places for children at this point in time. So why don't we start by sort of setting it up? How did COVID affect you guys?
Like many other SME centers, right? COVID definitely has a big change on the business we're running. Despite there's quite a lot of players in the market has decided to close down the venue, Kistopia has decided to upbeat the business during the reopening. So we have implemented quite a lot of different measurements, ensure the safeties and then the fun environment to be continued for the parents. Yeah.
For the parents and the children. So tell us a little bit more about the concept behind Kistopia, because if I were to describe it to anyone, I'm just like, Super Park and how it's great for like teenagers and people to go around and just have a lot of fun.
Version.
It's like a kiddie version.
It's great.
But even better because you've got all these little characters as well. So tell us a little bit more about the concept behind Kistopia.
All right. So Kistopia, so basically we have surrounded about 18 play concepts, and then with 11 originally curated IP characters, and then we wanted to embed play to learn through play concept. So each play area has a lot of the intelligent metrics and then learning the means embedded in the play concept. And then we also to create lots of different learning programs to complement the physical play equipment. So really make it a fun, the hands-on experience for the kids and family as well. Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I really loved about it is that the space itself, it was big enough for an adult to be able to accompany. Yeah. So when I bring Sienna, I can fit in all the spaces as well, and I don't have to worry too much about losing her.
That's right. I mean, when we designed this place, we want parents also feel very comfortable inside the playground. So the height and then the space and then the surrounding ambience like cafe and then some like reading corners and some resting areas for parents is also been carefully considered in there as well. Yeah.
Because we need the rest.
But obviously, you guys have had to up the safety measures. So we've got a quick video. Let's take a short look at this to see some of the safety measures that have been put in place.
Hello everyone, we hope all of you are very well and had a lot of fun with our Kistopia stay-home activities during the circuit breaker period.
We know many of you are anticipating our return, and we are very excited to announce that we are reopening! To ensure a fun and safe space for the whole family, our team has thoroughly cleaned and sanitized our park to prepare for your arrival. In addition, on top of our usual SG Clean protocols, we will also be performing daily fogging, intersection cleaning, and hourly wipe down of high-touch areas. We also made a few changes to our operations and put in place safety measures to protect your well-being.
So you guys have definitely upped the protocols around it. What would you say are some of the key big differences?
All right. Yeah. So basically, on top of the SG clean protocols, right, we have implemented series of the measurement. First one is definitely the capacity control. So within the 18,000 square feet the space, we normally can cater for 500 packs. So now with a reduced capacity, we're catering about 25% of the packs. So before the customers come to visit us, right, we would require customer to book online. So ensure no disappointing and everybody walk around within that safe distance as well. Yeah, so that's the first one. And then second one, of course, the normal temperature check, safe entry is a minimum standard for playgrounds like us. And then we also implement all the sanitizing disbursement equipment across all these playgrounds. We have about 13 the hand sanitizer, just
just like stationed
everywhere. Yeah, it's everywhere.
Nice, like, go on one ride, okay, pump.
That's right.
Hand sanitizer.
Yes, that's right. We do encourage customers to sanitize every time when they finish the play. Yeah. That's right, yeah. And then on top of that, we do have a session implemented now. In the past, it's like you just come and you can spend throughout the day. But now we have divided the whole day into 3 sessions. So every session, there's a half an hour in between where our staff can do all these foggings and sanitizing, hand touch area. Just make sure, next batch coming is very, nice and clean, ready for them. Yeah.
That's absolutely incredible. I think
very important as well, because parents want to have
peace of mind.
Peace of mind when it comes to these kind of things. You want the kids to be occupied. You want the kids to be able to have that play. We can't really go on holidays at this point in time. So this is just a fantastic alternative.
Definitely.
Right, yes.
Now, I think we've still got lots more to talk about. We're going to pop off for a short break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the impact on the children of the removal of social interaction, and we'll have someone coming back on the show. You might remember her from the morning show. We had Elaine from the Trehaus School. She's going to be joining us back when we come back after this short break. Stay with us here on Kickback with Kelly and Barbara.
Welcome back to Kickback with Kelly and Barbara. We've got our second guest joining us today, Elaine Kim, the co-founder of Trehaus School. So we had you on the morning show.
Yes, that's
How have you been since then?
My goodness, it's such a pleasure to be welcomed back here. So thank you for having me again. I'm sure we can all agree it's been completely crazy times. I think I was last on the show right at the beginning of that entire COVID period, and obviously it's been a challenge running a business, running a school and everything, running a family club and an office during a COVID period. But I think there's a lot of silver linings, and I think things are definitely looking up again, and we're excited to see where the world's going to go from here, actually.
So what's had to change for you guys? Obviously, everyone's had to implement new measures. Things are a little bit different, but what have you guys done?
A lot of stuff has happened. So we during the circuit breaker, we shut our school and the offices for a while. So for those of you who don't actually know what Trehaus is, I probably should give a little bit of a primer on what we are. So we're actually a space at what we call an integrated co-lifestyle space for families. And we're located in our flagship space in Funan, which is close to River Valley, very close to the city, but much closer to the River Valley side of things. And what we have there is we've got what we call a business club, and the business club has got co-working office type office space, which has got hot desk, dedicated desk and offices. But what really makes us different is the fact that we have a creche adjacent to it, and this is like a little nursery where we take kids from the ages of 2 months all the way until about 18 months old. And so it really becomes a place where you can have that work-family balance and work-life integration to be able to work out of the space and have kids next to you. And what really helms the space, of course, is Trehaus School, which is a full-fledged EGDA licensed preschool and childcare. We take kids from 18 months all the way until 6 years old. And at Trehaus School, we really are, it's really a school that was created to provide the best of education that we can create for young children, something that prepares them for the future, something that is, not just focused on rote-based learning, but really tries and encourages learning through play, exploration, developing skills like empathy, grit, and we have a little entrepreneur, a little CEO program. I can go on and on about Trehaus School, which I won't. So that's the second component, and third component is a family club, which we turn into on the weekends and after school hours. It's like a private members club with a indoor playground, outdoor playground access, cafe access, and access to a whole bunch of enrichment programs from coding, robotics, art, music, and so on and so forth.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
So yeah, lots of things that are happening usually pre-COVID.
So what's changed then?
So during circuit breaker, everything had to shut, and I think quite quickly during phase 1, we were able to start taking our kids back to, again. And after 2 months, I think everybody. I mean, we were surprised actually because we thought that the kids might not want to come back to school, but I think parents after 2 months with their little children at
They've
home,
gone, it's
really
been great.
quite ready.
It's been great, but like, let's get you back out there. I mean,
That's right.
so
I could just add on that because when we opened the playground, we actually so worried about the parents are so, cautious about everything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
actually demand was very high. Every session during the weekend is fully booked.
Yeah.
Well, because, I mean, let's face it, if you've got a rambunctious small child, right,
Yeah.
you need to burn their energy.
That's
And there are
right.
only so many places that you can go to do that.
Yeah.
And I feel like almost going to these sorts of environments, either at Trehaus or at Kistopia, at least you know that there are safety measures put in place. It's
Yeah.
not like an outdoor playground where there's not actually anything being done. So I guess that would be one of the advantages of going back to these places, right?
Yeah,
right, yeah.
absolutely. And I mean, we totally understand the concerns that parents have, but I think we've done everything we can possibly do to allay their fears. And I think even pre-COVID, before the circuit breaker, we were already stepping up a lot of things. Like we got huge thermal scanners. We made sure that anybody who came in had to be like vetted, tested, signed off, and everything. This was even pre-circuit breaker, right?
Yeah.
So when we reopened it was that, but so much more. I mean, we spent no expense in doing, we invested in things like UV cleaning machines. We deep cleaned and UV cleaned everything in our space. We do that. We've actually stepped up our cleaning so that, it's constantly being UV deep cleaned. And apart from that, I think a lot of it is about the way that we also educate the children, because a lot of it is, and in fact, going to school and learning about how to overcome COVID is a skill that I actually think is overall safer for the children because we teach them so much about it.
You
know?
mentioned that, and I think the first 2 weeks back at school for my daughter, she kept on coming back, and everything was about how they're going to get rid of the 病毒, and then what they're going to do to make sure that they 洗手, and
Yes.
it's all these different
right.
things, and obviously it's all in Mandarin because she goes to a Chinese school,
Yes,
but
yes,
like
yes.
everything was just so heavily focused around the virus and what you can do to keep safe. Because
right.
let's face it, kids are germy, right?
Yes.
We know that kids are always going to put things in their mouth. They're going to touch things. They're going to try and taste them or smell them or
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah.
what else do you think we can do then to make sure that we're keeping the kids safe, but from an education perspective?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe, from Kistopia experience, right? Of course, we require all the kids are wearing a mask. So we observe very, very accommodative kind of behaviors. And then kids are, no complaints or whatsoever. They still get used to. And then washing hands and all that is very, very standard for them on the day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And then we also observe like some kids, right? Because we have capacity control, not just the overall venue, but every play area, we also have a capacity control. So you can see the kids actually pointing, hey, mommy, there's maxed out, we shouldn't go in. So that, all these behaviors that are coming from the kids is quite comforting.
Yeah. And I mean, my son does that too. Like when I sit down for a meal, my son's the one who will come. He goes to Trehaus School, of course, and so I'm not saying this for other parents because it's really affecting myself as well. But he'll come to me during meal times and say, "Mommy, let's wash our hands," and then he won't like touch anything. And I see that it's because it's just being instilled in them. And I think so many parents were worried, oh, my kid's not going to be able to keep a mask on at school. My son's 3 years old, right? And a lot of the ones with the little kids, no way my son can keep a mask on. It's just become such a part of their life that they have their mask
They're
on
used to
all
it
day
now.
long, and they're completely at ease with it. And so I
They're
think it's
probably
actually
better at it than the adults
I
are.
actually
right,
think they
yeah.
are, I really do. He really has no qualms about wearing his mask all the time. They wash their hands literally every after every activity. they're washing their hands. And so it really built some really amazing habits, and they're educated about it as well. And we've also tried to make it really fun in educating them. So we have a little corner that's constantly changing. At one point, it's like a little grocery store. Last term when we were doing animals, it was a zoo shop, and then right now it's a little hospital. So we're also getting them to like learn about like medical stuff and everything, but
cute.
really instilling them with the sort of like skills that they need, you know, to be safe.
It's not just COVID that we have to worry about. I mean, before this, and you would think that this was probably more of a concern. Things
Yeah.
like hand, foot, and mouth disease, colds and flus, I mean, even dengue now. These are actually probably a lot more dangerous and deadly towards our
Yes.
children than the COVID-19 situation is, because we already know, and it's been established, that children are a lot less affected.
Absolutely.
So I
yeah.
feel like if we are supposed to be going back out there and looking for different ways to engage our children, then these play places are actually not such a bad idea, because if all these measures are being put in place anyway, then the things that we normally would be worried about, that we have actually swept under the rug and gone, oh no, it's not so bad, like hand, foot and mouth disease, for example, which can be very painful for small
Yes,
children
absolutely.
especially. Like we've gone, oh yeah, it's almost like we've forgotten about it, but we really do need to remember these things,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
That's right, yeah.
that must have been a bigger concern for you guys if there was a hand, foot, and mouth disease breakout, right? I mean,
That's
especially
right,
in
yeah.
schools as well.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, like for playhouse like us, and then also for preschools, right? Hygiene is our minimum standard. So like hand, foot, mouth disease is our day-to-day sort of handling. So throughout the daily cleaning, and then on top of that, we also hand out the white wipes. Just make sure every customer get one, and then they can just clean on top of whatever their measurement as well. Yeah.
And it's, oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was actually going to say that, since COVID, I actually think that all these other things have actually we haven't
Reduced,
had
right?
a case,
No, that was
right?
what I
we
was
haven't
about
had
to
a case.
say.
And I think it's not just, obviously the hygiene habits that the kids pick up is a very big part of it, but it's also about, I think, the way that we've also kind of structured the school, right? So in a sense, I guess Trehaus School was always quite not made for it, but like quite prepared for it, right? Because we have the best teacher-child ratio. We only have 1:5. So at any one point of time, we only have 2 groups of 5 in interacting at any, and there's no crossing off between classes or anything at all, right? So you're only interacting with another 4 kids, or at the most when you're out in the playground with your mask on. I mean, they have their masks on all day, but at the most 9 other children. And so really any sort of contagious illness is completely very, very well controlled. And I mean, we haven't seen any, obviously,
So
thank
it's almost
goodness.
like this
Really,
is
like, touch
this
wood
is a
and everything.
silver lining, right? Because
Yeah.
these things that were usually very prominent when it comes to kids have now just kind of been alleviated ever so slightly, I would say.
I think more than slightly, yeah.
How do you feel about this being the new normal going forward?
I honestly feel that it's a new normal that we have to accept, because it's not gonna, and I think there's some people who are thinking we're gonna wait out COVID, right? I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure that there's actually a very practical solution to just wait out until you have a vaccine. It may not be for another 1.5 years, 2 years, and if you're gonna be quarantined in your home for 2 years, there's a lot of development that your child will miss out on, a lot of social interactions which are crucial,
Very important at
crucial
that
at
point.
this age.
Yep.
And so I think it's about doing what we can to adapt to this new normal and to really create do everything that we can to minimize the risk. And I think the risks really are minimized, at this stage, the way that things are. And 1-2 cases in the community, I think
It's very low. I think we're doing okay. Ladies, thank you so much for sharing. I look forward to getting the kids back out there.
Yes.
The social interaction is so important, not only for their physical health and development, but also their mental health as well, making sure that they're interacting and getting out there with their friends. So ladies, thank you very much. I guess it's safe to say that it's safe to go to Kistopia and Trehaus.
Welcome.
safe.
Please come. Feel free to come.
Fantastic. Well, stick around with us here on Kickback with Kelly and Barbara. Barbara going to take you through a quick workout right after this break. Don't go away.
welcome back to Kickback with Kelly and Barbara. However, it is just me for the workout segment. Given that we've been talking all about kids, how to keep them active, we thought we'd do some kid-friendly exercises. These are things that really help to strengthen certain areas, regain a little bit of control with the kids. I mean, they've got so much energy to burn. Obviously, running around is the best bet. But if you want to get them engaged in different exercises, these are a couple of ideas. So again, we're going to be doing 40 seconds per exercise, and you know, if you've got kids with you, you can get them up and they can join in as well. Ideally, you want to do at least 3 to 4 sets. That'll be fun. All right, so we're going to start with your bear crawls, hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. You want to float your knees off the ground, and all we're going to do is take a little step forward with one hand and the opposite leg and bring it back. Bring it forward, bring it back. So you want to maintain as much control with this as you possibly can. Avoid hiking up your hips, so you keep them nice and low. Control going forward, control going back. Now, this one's not just for the kids. This one's definitely one for the adults as well. It does help you to warm up the body a little bit and get everything fired up. We've got 5 more seconds to go. Whew. Very nice, and time. Good. Next exercise that we're going to be doing is your kick through. So again, you're maintaining that hands over shoulders, knees under your hips. Oh, sorry, hands under your shoulders. That's the word. See, once you exercise, you can't really talk that much. But instead, you're going to be doing your kick throughs and flipping your body weight around. And we're just going to go in 3, 2, 1. So you're going to kick through and come straight back. Kick through and come straight back. Now, for this one, you really want to make sure that you're flipping all the way around. Bum is quite close to the ground, and then you come back into that 90-degree position in your knees, flip through. So the reason why you want to sit your bum quite low is that if you lose your balance and fall over, it's like 2 centimeters. You'll be fine. All right, and then you just come back. Again, nice controlled movement. The kids absolutely love that one. It's like the beginner's introduction to breakdancing, which we all know I'm never going to get any further. And time. Whew. Very good. All right. The next one that we've got are your Supermans. Okay, Supermans, kids absolutely love this one. So you're going to lie on the ground, and what you want to do is engage your glutes and engage your arms, and everything's just going to lift up. So you want nice squeeze, keep those shoulders back, and bring it back down. And we bring it up, and we bring it back down. Good. So literally all you're doing is bringing it up, having a little bit of a squeeze, making sure all your muscles are engaged, works the back, works the glutes, squeeze, and we bring it back down. We've got 50 more seconds to go. Squeeze, and bring it back down. Very good. Whew. And bring it back down. And bring it up. And bring it back down. And one last one. There we go. Good. Last exercise is what we call prison squats. So you're going to start in a nice kneeling position. You're going to lift each leg up until you're in a squat, and you kind of hold it there and bring it back down again. Okay? So we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. So from here, get into that low squat and back onto your knees. Come back up and bring it back down. So a good way is to alternate which leg you're coming up and down with, so that you don't get too reliant on one side. Whew. Yeah, I don't talk much during this one, because it involves a little bit more control and engagement in everything that you're doing, and you do get a little bit more gas. So we've got 10 seconds left. You can do this. Whew. 3, 2, I got Kelly counting down on the side for me, and time. Whew. Now, ideally, you should be able to do that 3 or 4 sets, but remember, it's only 4 exercises, so it's not that bad. All right, so next week on Kickback with Kelly and Barbara, for the first time in a couple of weeks, we don't have a long weekend, unfortunately. So we will be back on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Next week, we're going to be talking about eye health, super important. Blue light glasses, do they even work? Because Kelly and I got ourselves a pair. We're also going to be talking about a little bit your mental health, your physical health, what it's like having recovered from COVID-19, and finally, couples spending so much time together, working together, living together, dealing with the kids together, how all that contributes to a good and healthy relationship. All that and more on Kickback with Kelly and Barbara.